Hi everyone, this is Shirley from Shirley's World, and this is Pepsi. Pepsi was missing for a couple days, but she's back. Anyway, she wants to sit on my lap, so I guess I'll let her. You hear that? Those are the geese flying over. There. There. Hey, Pepsi, don't drink my coffee. Who knew that cats like coffee? Maybe it's the milk in there. Anyway, today I'm filling all my bird feeders, and it's time to put the hummingbird feeders up. So I just made some hummingbird nectar. For those of you that don't know how to do that, it's 4 cups of water, 1 cup of sugar, 4 to 1. It saves you a lot of money. No, don't buy that red stuff in the stores. Just make regular. It doesn't have to be red. The hummingbird feeders are red, usually. So they come to my feeders just fine. So April's the month that we put the hummingbird feeders up here anyway, northeast Ohio. And it's been really warm, so I don't know if they may not come till later on this month. I don't know. I haven't seen any. But you put them on, and what I've read about them is the males come and find the feeders. They're called spotters. It's a noisy truck going past. They're called spotters, and they come and locate the feeders. And I don't know if that's true or not. I'm just telling you what I think I read one time. But it's usually the males that come first, and then the females that come. But once a group of hummingbirds find your feeders and feed at your feeder, they come back year after year. So I expect the same ones to come back. And I didn't have that many last year. I had maybe 6. One year I had it had to be 18 or 20 that stuck around all summer. They were great. It was great seeing them, because you could go right up to the feeder and stand there, and they just buzz around you to get to the feeder. They're very feisty little birds, and they're not afraid of you at all. In fact, if you put your finger next to where they're, hi Pepsi. If you put your finger next to the feeder where the perch is, they'll land right on your finger. So we did that quite a few times that year that we had so many hummingbirds. But I filled my regular feeders too. And on the picnic table, I have a little tray where I put seed out, and the squirrels come up there. I'm trying to keep them off of my birds' feeders, because they just empty it out. You know, they throw the seed around. They fill themselves up and toss the rest on the ground. So if I give them a tray on the picnic table, it at least keeps them off for a little while. So that's what I'm doing. This morning early, I raked some leaves off my herb garden in the front, my little herb garden, and put them in the compost pile. So I'm doing things outside today because it is the perfect, gorgeous day. It's like 70 degrees. It could go up to 75, 78 even maybe. And sunny, not a cloud in the sky. And I went out to fill the one feeder, my big bird feeder, and because there was seed on the ground, I scared a duck away. There was some mallards there. A mallard, male mallard. I don't know where his female was, but he was there. Maybe it was one of the bachelors. Usually they're mated up by this time, but there are bachelor ducks that don't get a mate, so there wasn't any female. I don't know if I've ever told the story about when we first moved here. We had ducks. I'd notice the ducks because we are surrounded by a golf course, and there's a big lake not too far from my property that I can see. And of course, ducks fly in there all the time, and so do geese. But so I started putting some corn out at the edge of my property, and the ducks started coming. First I just had a few, and then I had a lot of ducks, and they'd come. We did that for a couple years, and they would bring their little baby ducklings, which was so cute. They'd bring the little baby ducklings there and feed, because they knew where I threw the feed. Well, one year, one goose came. Then the next day there were 2 geese, and a couple days later there were 6 geese. Pretty soon I had a flock of geese. If you know anything about geese, they make a horrible mess. So I finally had to stop feeding there because it was just a horrible mess that they made. So I haven't thrown down corn for the ducks since then. Maybe it would be safe for a year to throw down some corn for the ducks. Maybe I'll try it. I don't know. This is a bird heaven here. I have lots of wild birds. I feed all year round. And hummingbirds and ducks and geese, even though I don't want geese, but they're here. So that's what I've been doing this morning. Hi, Sue. Hope you're feeling good. My sister has been having a few heart problems, but I'm praying and praying that it gets all taken care of and that she's feeling good today. I have the nectar in cooling. I made the nectar for the hummingbird feeders, and it's in cooling. I have my countertops are made of soapstone. I don't know if you know anything about soapstone. It's the product that they use in chemistry labs. Nothing can hurt it. It does scratch, but as far as staining, or you can put hot boiling things on it, nothing hurts it. But they use it around little heaters. It retains heat. Okay, so what I've noticed is if you put a hot pan on it, it will suck the heat right into the stone, and it will cool off the pan really quickly. I mean, much faster than if you say you put it on a cutting board or something. So it's an easy way to cool things down. So I take the pan off the heat, the hummingbird nectar, and set it on the soapstone, and it'll cool it down real fast so I can use it quicker. You have to remember that too, though. You can't set your cup of hot coffee on the counter on the bare stone, or your cup of coffee will be cold pretty quickly. So I'm going to fill my hummingbird feeders, hang them up, and see how long it takes for the hummingbirds to find them, or to come. I don't know if they're back yet. You know, they come all the way from Mexico. They fly with those teensy-weensy little wings. They migrate there's a path they migrate along. If you look them up on Google and read about hummingbirds, there's a regular pathway that the ones from up here take to get down to Mexico. So they fly all the way to Mexico for the winter and come all the way back up north for the summer. Or they go all over the United States, but these certain kind come up this way. So very interesting little birds. I did a blog about them and their nesting, their nests. I have pictures of their little teensy weensy nests and all about hummingbirds. If you look on my blog, which is shirleysworld.blogspot.com, and if you go to the right where it says labels, and you look up birds, I think it's under birds, I'm sure, you'll be able to tell what it would be under. There's a lot of lists of different categories, and you'll find I've done info on on different birds like cardinals and blue jays, and I'm going to do one on mourning doves. But there's one I did, the one on hummingbird. I think it was like a 2-part series because there's so much information about them. So go take a look, and I'm going to be doing fun stuff for me around here. And Pepsi is right here with me, and she sits with me when I garden. She sits with me when I have coffee. And I was really upset yesterday and the day before yesterday when she didn't come to dinner. She didn't come to breakfast the next morning. I was really afraid something had happened to her, but nope. She must have just been out, probably across the street, hunting in the big fields over there. I think both the her mother and her go over across. So I hope they run across that road, even though we don't have much traffic on this road, but there are cars. So it's mostly the mother, her mother, the gray one, Angel, her real name is. I call her Mama Cat. She's really the hunter. I did find a dead mouse out by the garage today. One of them got. They didn't eat it. It was just laying there dead. But I picked it up and threw it where the dog can't get it, because I don't want the dog eating it. That's a good way for pets to get fleas, if you didn't know that. Yeah. Even though my dog has flea medicine on, I don't think they can live on my dog. But yeah, my cats, I could probably put flea medicine on Pepsi, but Angel, I can't. She won't even let me pet her. She's very feral. I could never get it on her. But I might put it on little Pepsi. So that's it for today, and I will maybe be on later or come on tomorrow. The chickens are out in their big yard out back, doing their free range thing all afternoon. So Dexter has to stay in the house. He can take his afternoon nap and he can go out later. So I'm going to finish my coffee here and go put the nectar in the hummingbird feeders. So I'll see you another time. Bye.